everyone, it's the Vitality Junkie here, and welcome to video 3 of this 10-part series on intuitive eating. If you haven't already, please be sure that you watch videos 1 and 2, where we cover principles 1 and 2. And in this video, we're going to talk about principle 3, which is make peace with food. And I think for me, when I first discovered the intuitive eating book, and I realized that I was an intuitive eater, this was probably the last principle that I kind of embraced, that I wasn't practicing before I read the book. As I said before, I discovered that I was an intuitive eater after reading the book, but it was already my eating style, my eating habits that I kind of created for myself. But make peace with food was probably the last one, because while I allowed myself to have foods, like I would go to my in-laws and have appetizers, or allowed myself to have dessert at dinner parties, or whatever the case may be, there was still that guilt and that feeling of, or creating rules like, okay, I ate those appies, so tomorrow I'm gonna do an extra 10 minutes at the gym. So I wasn't 100% making peace with food. I was allowing myself to have play foods. And what I mean by play foods is, and that's the term that they use in the intuitive eating book, are foods that you can enjoy in smaller amounts, that are just foods that you like chocolate or chips or whatever. Instead of calling it junk food, we just call it play foods. And so, I also would go through the experience, with making peace with food. When you deprive yourself of a certain food, and I explained this in one of the previous videos, when you deprive yourself of certain foods, your body craves that. So, and it goes both ways. So if you binge eat, as I mentioned, I would binge eat on a weekend before I was starting a diet, because I knew I was never gonna eat these foods again. So I ate ice cream and chocolate and chips and whatever, processed foods. I ate everything, went to McDonald's, did everything that, ate everything that I thought I was never gonna eat again. And then on Monday, all my body craved was fruits and vegetables and healthy foods, because I spent all weekend depriving myself of it and not realizing that that's what I was doing. And so then on Monday it was like, great, I can start this diet, no problem, because all my body wants is salad and fruits and vegetables anyways. So, and then it goes the other way. So if all you're eating is healthy food and fruits and vegetables, then obviously your body is going to crave those play foods, as we talked about. So this principle is all about making peace with food. So the number one step to making peace with food is to give yourself unconditional permission to eat. And that means eating anything that you want. It means eating what you really want and what your body's wanting in that moment, and without guilt. And I know that's hard for some people, because they're scared. They're thinking, oh my God, I can't control myself around food like that. Or does that mean I can eat whatever I want whenever I want? No, because there's other principles to intuitive eating that you need to follow, like feeling your hunger, like honoring your hunger and feeling your fullness, and feeling the satisfaction from your food. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, making peace with food is about giving yourself unconditional permission to eat anything. And so that was the biggest aha moment for me when it came to intuitive eating, because I was like, wait a second, if I don't deprive myself of any foods and I allow myself to eat anything I want, all of a sudden it doesn't seem like that forbidden fruit. It doesn't seem like it's that thing that I can't have, so now all I crave is that thing. If I allow myself to have it when I feel like eating it, and I know that my body can have it whenever I want, then those feelings and that mental game that you start playing with yourself about, oh my God, I can't have it, so now I want it, all that goes away. And there's a term that they use in the book called habituation. So think of it this way, and I've done this so many times with many things, but think about when you buy a new shirt or a new outfit or a new pair of shoes. You buy that new thing and you love it, you're just thinking this is the greatest piece of clothing that I've purchased in my life. You wear it 3 nights in a row with different sets of friends. At least I could, because I was in my 20s, we didn't have Facebook. My picture wasn't gonna be plastered everywhere, but I would wear that shirt or those pair of shoes, And as soon as kind of the honeymoon phase was over of it, it was like, okay, I'm done with it now, and it's at the bottom of the closet. And that piece of clothing that I couldn't get enough of, all of a sudden didn't seem so interesting anymore. And it's because of this thing called habituation. And it's the same thing with food. If there isn't this attachment, this exciting feeling about it of, oh my God, there's ice cream and now I can eat this, I'm gonna have this ice cream because I'm never gonna be able to eat it again. When that's all gone and that forbiddenness feeling is gone, then all of a sudden it doesn't seem so exciting, if that makes sense. So in this scenario right now, making peace with food, step 1, unconditional permission to eat whatever you want. Step 2, be aware of giving yourself pseudo permission. So I briefly mentioned this, but don't tell yourself you can have ice cream, but then start having still feelings of guilt over it, or creating those rules around, okay, well, I'll give myself permission to eat, but I'm gonna go to the gym for 10 minutes longer. Just allow yourself to eat it. Because when you do, you're not binge eating it all of a sudden. Now you just wanna have a little taste of it. And that for me was the biggest thing. It was before I read the book, and I already knew I was an intuitive eater, I would have a bowl of ice cream, but I'd feel like I need to have the entire bowl because I didn't know when I was gonna have it next. Whereas when I told myself I can have this ice cream whenever I want, and I'm now listening to my body and saying, does my body actually want ice cream right now? No, it doesn't. So I won't have as much. I know it sounds hard to believe, but trust me, you will get to that point where you can have chips and not feel like you need to eat the whole bag of chips. So that's number 2. Number 3, don't deprive yourself of foods that you like. Like I said, if there's chocolate or ice cream or something that you enjoy, eat it. Don't deprive yourself of it, but don't eat foods that you don't like either. If you know that salads or broccoli or asparagus is really good for you, but you don't like one of those things, just don't eat it. Eat other options, eat other healthy foods, but don't force yourself to eat foods that you don't like either. So again, we're gonna get into that in the next principles, is paying attention to what your body actually likes and doesn't like, and eating what you like and not what you don't like. And step 4 is to always make sure that you have a small supply of play foods at home. For me, and I know again, it's hard to fathom right now that you could even do it, but for me, I love having dark chocolate in the evenings, and I buy them in bulk because I buy them when they're on sale. So I'll have four large bars of the Lindt dark chocolate, and I don't sit there and binge eat it. It just doesn't happen. I know that I can have my 2 pieces because the next day I'm gonna have my 2 pieces, and that's all I need. That feeling of, oh my God, I need to eat all this chocolate right now because I don't know when I'm gonna ever have it again, is gone. And so it's okay for me to have these foods in my cupboard. In fact, this week, and this will shock some people that know me really well, we had ice cream in the freezer, Kit Kat flavored ice cream that my husband bought for my son, and it stayed in the freezer for a week and I didn't have 1 scoop. And it's because I know that if I want ice cream, I can have it when I want, but I just didn't feel like having ice cream. And I'm an ice cream maholic, for those of you that know me. So it does take time to trust yourself and build that trust. But trust me when I say that once you learn all of the principles, making peace with food will come naturally to you. It will take time, but it will come naturally to you. So those are the 4 steps to making peace with food. And as I said, if you haven't already, please make sure you watch the other videos and keep an eye out for the other videos on my YouTube channel as well, or through this subscription. If you didn't get the subscription, please subscribe to my emails, and then you'll get great videos and content like this right in your inbox. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.